Hey, Lee Wolf here, and welcome to Game Face Monday. We are live. It is beautiful here in the Northeast. Hope it is by you as well. Thanks for tuning in, listening, and watching. As always, Mr. Richie Bello is sitting by my side, and today we have a special guest. I don't think he's ever been on the show before, at least not when I've been around. Mr. Michael DeLisa. He is the lead attorney at the DeLisa Law Group, but we're going to be talking to him a bit today about Gemini Credit Services, which he has formed. Credit is a major issue in the country, stopping people from buying homes, simple things that they need, and more importantly, because this is Game Face Monday, vehicles. How you guys doing?
Great.
Very good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, awesome having you, Michael. We're going to be picking Michael's brain a bit about Gemini Credit Services, and one of the more important things to think about is these aren't people that are just tinkering around with your credit. This is a law firm that knows the law, understands what has to be done to do things the right way, in the right order of things as well. And so you're dealing with the best out there in the business. But as always, going to break away for 1 minute to hear from our sponsor, Shop Smart Autos, and we'll be right back.
We continue to show dealerships across the country how to retain their customers. But now Shop Smart Autos wants to bring the new customers right to your showroom floor. The car they want? It's sitting on your lot, and Shop Smart Autos can bring you the VIN-specific leads that take them straight to your door. These aren't just leads. They're nurtured, targeted, and matched down to the exact vehicle. You'll sell more cars faster, and your team is going to thank you for it. Shop Smart Autos VIN-specific leads. Let SSA show them the way to your showroom floor.
All right. We are back with Richie Bello and Michael DeLisa. So, Michael, just for the audience sake, catch them up on where you came from and how you got here.
Well, actually, this week I celebrated 40 years practicing as an attorney. Probably for 30 of those, I've had my own firm or have worked on my own. I've had as many as 35 people working for me and as few as one. Okay, so I've been through the whole gamut depending on what the practice entails. Through that time, I've done a lot. I mean, I used to do a lot of business related legal work, forming corporations, advising corporations. And then at some point about 15 years ago, when the mortgage crisis hit, I pivoted toward that. And at one point I had probably over 600 clients at any given time. Wow. I started to realize that those clients couldn't get modifications or couldn't get into a new place or a new home or a new apartment because of their credit. So as a function of servicing my bank negotiations with the mortgage holder, I started advising the clients how to get their credit up. Through that, I realized, which is no big secret to anyone, that credit affects every part of your life. If you need to buy a car, maybe at some point it was zero interest if you had really good credit,
right.
But yet would be much, much higher if you didn't. So auto loans, rental apartments, mortgages, business loans, everything is tied into credit.
Yeah.
The better the credit, the better you can manage your life. Okay. So what I started to do was to focus on helping people with that. It's branched off into a separate business now. We take the approach of that credit is a tool. Okay. If you're a chef, you need a sharp knife. If you're a business person or a homeowner or somebody in the market for an automobile, you need good credit. It's not as if it's some secret thing. It's something that I let the clients understand exactly what's happening, what's affecting their credit, what the algorithms are. It's a deep dive into how your credit is created and what you need to do to manage it. So I put it in the hands of the client of how they're going to go forward, but now understanding and managing their credit better.
Yeah. And then is the rule of thumb, I mean, I know it's never like on the money, but is it, I remember it would always be a 720 credit score is what you were looking for to be able to take advantage of the good deals like in a car dealership.
Well, in a car dealership, yeah, it's probably 720. In home mortgages and refinancing and that kind of thing, it's, I would say, 680. Obviously, 720 is better than 680, but 680 is the minimum. A lot of people in the high fives, low sixes, and they really can't get up into that 680, 700 range. And what we do is we help them get there very quickly without all the machinations of a lot of different credit companies where they're filing, you know, they're sending out fugazi letters with respect to disputes and that kind of thing. I mean, the first thing that I do when I take on any client, or even before I take on any client, is I have them give me their full credit report, including their payment history. I do a deep dive into that. I come up with a plan, and then I present it to the client. This is what we need to do to get you, depending on what the time frame is, in 3 months, in 6 months, in a year. This is where your credit will be.
And
sometimes people with a very high credit, say in the 700s, have a harder time getting the extra 20 points that they want to get over to 750, if that's your goal, than people that have lower. It all depends on, there's a lot of different factors that go into play and how the numbers are calculated. Once you understand those, you can attack the weakest points first and get a bigger bang for your buck in terms of credit repair. But you really need to do everything. If you're not doing everything, you know, I tell my clients, if you're not doing everything, you're really just putting a stopgap on. What I want you to do is, it's like a diet. You know, you've got to actually change the way that you eat every day, not just for a week or a month until you lose the weight or until you gain the points. Because a long thing. And like I said, knowledge is power. I give everybody that after I'm done with them, they know what they need to do.
That's awesome. Richie, yeah.
You know, over the weekend, Michael, I turned you on to Tommy Lang, right? So Tommy Lang is a real estate guy, right? So I was driving with him in the car, and he was telling me, you know, Richie, the real estate market is actually worse than it was in 08, right? And I says, what do you contribute that to as house per sale? He says, a lot has to do with credit. You can't believe how many people come in with the credit situation, right? And I says, really? So I didn't know that because homes are being sold and all that, but they are based on population. There's one home that's been out there in South Carolina for the last 2 years, and nothing has happened to it, right? So in some markets, you have this problem because they have a low income area, right? And you see this thing happening, and he says, the real estate market, I said, this is hot, this market, isn't it? And he says, no, actually it's worse than 08. So I know what happened in 08. There was a lot of things that happened. So I said, and what do you contribute that to, right? So he says, a lot of people have the credit issue, right?
Yeah, well, one of the things just to say, I agree with you 100%. One of the things that we're seeing now in the real estate market specifically, okay, because that's a longer term asset, people have mortgages. In 08, the laws allowed the banks to basically give people mortgages or refinance or modify mortgages for 2% up to 40 years. Yet the people that got, a lot of the people that got those mortgages didn't have good credit and never took advantage of the fact that now they're paying only 2% on a mortgage, which is practically nothing, and they let their credit get really bad. Now, today, having that bad credit and not having the ability to pay for that house leads a lot of people in the area where they can't afford their house, and now they can't afford to even get into an apartment, or they can't get into an apartment because their credit scores are so low. So it's a compounding problem. And what that leads a lot of people to is put their head in the sand. Now their houses are getting foreclosed. They're being taken out of their homes by the bank. It's really bad. It's really bad. And it's just a matter of, you know, especially on Long Island, you know, they changed the tax laws where how much you can deduct from your mortgage and all that. all this is compounded from 2008 till now. Yes, is definitely worse for a majority of the people. But for the people that still have a decent income and have managed their credit, they're sitting in a good spot. They're buying new cars, they're getting second homes, they're refinancing their homes and taking out equity that they've now accumulated, and they're able to do that for 6 to 8%. So it all depends on how you handle things. And the people that we're addressing in the future are going to have it a lot easier, not just in the short term, but a long term. They'll be in a lot better position to improve their lives by having a new car every couple of years, by renting when they need to rent, and doing repairs to their home if they need to take equity out to put a new roof on, whatever they can do that.
And I was talking to our friend Carl, and he's telling me, so you have a business loan, right? Some companies you can grant it for the business side, but now they're going after yourself as personal. So if you have personal credit, even if your business credit is shot, there's money available, and it doesn't have to be hard money and that. So as far as the business owner, and in Long Island, you got a little bit of an issue. You know how I know that there's an issue in Long Island? Two things. When companies start promoting events in Long Island, that's what they do when the economy's bad. In 2008, there was events galore everywhere. Why? Because that's the way they reach out to customers to bring them in and sell them stuff. So when I start seeing 390 to 400 events between now and August in Suffolk and Nassau County, right, that they're not existing, those events were not there not too long ago, that's a problem. And when I see incubator and accelerators doing events, that's only people that develop technology like ShopSmart that are paying $500 to $600 a ticket to get in front of investors. So now I know as a fact that there is a problem. So the events now are very big in the island, okay? They started in different parts of the country. Now it's coming out here. That's a lot of events between now and August. Business and corporate events, Maxwell Organization, which is one of the best education for coaching, has 3 events back to back in Long Island.
Really?
With Mr. Maxwell himself on the events. So that's telling me something. I mean, one thing is real estate events. They're trying to go after, you to buy stuff. Our friend Todd does these real estate events. But when you start seeing events all over the place, these type of events, I mean, it already beat what 2008 was doing, okay? So there's a big opportunity with these folks that have a business that's a startup, right? The Family Office Club out in New York City, which is owned by Richard Weiss, I believe. There are events everywhere because people need money. But if you have the credit personally, there's a great solution out there with interest rates and everything that'll give it to you, because let's face it, real technology is nothing more than real estate, right? It's intellectual property. So they'll give you money like a mortgage. They'll give you money on that. And, with the whole goal is that they can lean it up. So there's a tremendous opportunity now with what Michael's law firm is doing with a great team. I mean, Michael DeLisa, a lot of people know he's a very personal friend of mine, right? I've met the team that does this, and let me tell you something. In the mortgage industry, I already talked to Todd. In the business funding industry, Carl is fully aware of it. And we're very excited because it's something that is needed here. Just this morning, I get a notification Facebook has let go of thousands and thousands of people, not so much because they're doing bad because of the AI, right? Microsoft has let go 15,000 people in the last, 2 weeks. These people need to make a living, okay? And when you make that kind of money, a tech in Facebook or a tech there, you're making 150, 200,000. What's going to happen to their credit with this? And they're not getting let go because the economy is bad. It says it clearly. AI, right? They still have employees, but you don't need so many of them. So that's a big opportunity to help other people out. I think that's an amazing opportunity. And the other thing we should really talk about, as I left there, the grants. The reason I left the grants, because let's face it, veterans come back, they have problems, mentally, whatever. They want to get back into the market. We train them, we put them to work. They've been jammed up for 6, 7, 8 months, so their credit is shot, right? So me and Michael have been talking about a great price to help out the United States veterans to get them back on the feet, because they're going to get a job in the automotive sector. Then they're going to need a home. Then they're going to need to get established back again. So this is a great opportunity for our U.S. veterans too. They've had to struggle. They come back from deployment. They come back 6, 7, 8 months. And they have a hard time with their credit. And that's what happens to them, because your creditors don't understand that you're a veteran and you just came back from deployment and you have a family now and you're having a hard time. You understand that. So the veteran community, if you look it up, has challenges with their credit. So with the job, we train them, place them, recruitment, right? Well, not in that order. I'm dyslexic, so I say everything backwards, right? So it's recruitment, training, and placement, right? So, but then once they have the job, they're able to fix their credit, able to come back to society how they left. So that's a tremendous opportunity. And all you got to go is to ChatGPT and ask about veterans' credits, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So, from some of these statistics that I've been thumbing through, 1 in 8 buyers are considered bad credit. That's a credit score below 620 or subprime. What would you consider, or what is considered, a near prime borrower, Michael?
Yeah, 620 to 650.
Okay. So, but still,
I think there's more than 1 in 8 that are lower than 620. I'll tell you the truth. I think it's a lot lower than that. The people that actually have good credit, I've seen people with $200,000 a year income, low expenses, and still have bad credit because of the things that impact your credit. Right. You may get, a notice in the mail. Hey, you're pre-approved for this credit line of $50,000. You call for that credit line, you don't like it, you hang up, you don't do anything about it, but it's a hard inquiry on your credit. Every one of those is reducing your, so if you do 3 or 4 in a month, you're reducing your credit score. You need to know those types of things. Or if they say, well, maybe you want to increase your get a new credit card. Every single one is a hard inquiry on your credit. Okay. And some people say, well, we're going to shop around for the best credit card. But the way to shop around is not to apply for them, because that's one of the most destructive things, is just looking and investigating. And the next thing you know, those people have taken your information, run your credit, and each time that they do is an issue. That's just like one small thing. So I believe that there are a lot of people that are lower than 620, but can be immediately brought up to 680 or 700 just by a few different things. And it's also how you manage your credit. What is the amount of available credit to you versus your credit use? That alone, and it's no secret, is 35% of your score. 35% of your score. So if you're using more than what they consider appropriate for your income level, and you've got a big hit, you could lose 200 points just on that. And
Right.
how do you fix it? Well, there's a million ways to fix it. Increase your credit, pay down your debt. There's or a combination of the both.
How quickly do
That's what we
things
look at.
move? How quickly do things move? Like, and again, I know you're not going to take someone from, a 550 to a 720 in a matter of a couple of months, but like the bump that you were talking about earlier, going from like a 620, 630 to a 680.
I don't like to work with anybody if they're not going to give me at least 90 days. Okay. I can get a big hit in the first 30 days, but it's unless you're making the other changes that I started to hint at, it's not going to last. You'll go, say, well, you got to do this or that, and you do it for a month. I can get you a decent hit in a month, but it's going to go right back down if you don't follow up. And usually 90 days, people start to understand, hey, I've gone up even more than that first month. It's continuing to climb. And actually, I feel the difference in terms of my money management because it's a money management issue. I feel like I'm better in control of I'm not always scraping from, paycheck to paycheck. Now I have an understanding of what my budget is and how I'm applying it and how that, how a couple of 30% interest rate credit cards are really killing me. I'm spending as much as a car payment on 3 or 4 credit cards that I don't even really use anymore because they're all maxed out.
Right. And the beautiful thing about Michael is when you go in with Michael, there's an education process, right? They're showing you how to manage your credit, how to manage your finances. So it might happen to you once, then you get that education part, and then that's going to stop from you going back to that. Because the last thing you need is to fix somebody's credit, not educate them on how it was done and what they got to watch for. Because, don't forget, it's a teamwork. They have to listen to whatever the process is, right, for it to be this successful. And now you're getting educated also on what to look for, okay, and how to stay clean. So once we clean them, it ain't like it's a revolving door. The customer believes Michael, okay, Michael, thanks a lot. They buy a home, then they get jammed up again. And, then it doesn't. The beautiful thing about Michael's team is that they educate you on just, Lee, I've said this before, awareness is key. Sometimes you make yourself aware of something, like you made me aware that when I was having a lot of Doritos and I weighed 500 pounds, it was high on sodium. I didn't know that it was sodium, but you showed me the label and you told me I haven't had that now in 5 years, right? Mm-hmm. Awareness is key. When you make somebody aware, if they have just common sense, wait a minute, this is bad for me now. Okay. Right. My blood pressure was off the scale and everything. And, awareness is key. So by Michael making the consumer aware, this is what you got to watch for because he does that all day, every day with a team. That's a whole different thing, and he's a law firm. So he knows the laws, what to do and what not to do. So you're not dealing with somebody that has credit repair, like you said, Lee, very good point. That's going to say, okay, I'll fix your credit. Yeah, okay. Right. And God forbid he fixes your credit the wrong way. It goes right back to bad again. Michael does everything by the law. That's it, by the law. Right. And that's the way.
There's also, I don't want to, really attack anybody, but there are a lot of credit repair companies that try and make it to be some sort of secret system. They're sending certain types of letters out that automatically raise your credit, or they're attacking this, or they're attacking that. That's not the way I work. I don't need to send a letter. If I can figure something out and have a different way of doing things, I'm not going to make a show of it by sending unnecessary letters to make it as if, that's the secret. The secret is money management, getting back on track, paying your bills on time, not overextending your use of your available credit unless you need to. Okay, there's always a reason for that, and to make sure that you are aware on at least a monthly basis of what your credit score actually is. This way, if it starts to take a dip, you can say, "Oh, I lost those points because I had a hard inquiry when I went to Macy's. They wanted me to take out a card and you know, now I've got to wait until that falls off, or maybe I can get it taken off or whatever. Those, you know, now you know why, and you're looking every month. Okay, if I've dipped 20 or 30 points, I got to make sure I'm going to get back on track and raise it, rather than wait until you're 150 points down and you go to a credit repair company and they just start charging you all kinds of money to throw papers all over the place. That's not the way it works. This is,
and by the way, I want to say Michael's success. So there was a person named Marie Thompson that had Marie Thompson Credit Repair. Michael was the lawyer behind that. She was the brand. She was very successful with it. And unfortunately, she passed away maybe about 6-7 months ago. So that was a business that Michael always had, being the back end. So he decided to be the front end. And that was like a very long time relationship. Yeah. And she, you know, she passed. And he was like the lawyer behind her success. She was very successful, right? He was the lawyer behind the scenes because she was the face. You know what I mean? He couldn't say, hey, Marie, I want to take over. So Michael's has a lot of experience. It's not a new venue or a new venture or anything like that for him. He's been doing that now for 15 years, being the back end lawyer for Marie Thompson's Credit Solutions. Website, everything, if you look it up, Thompson Credit Solutions, you see everything online. Well, that was Michael DeLisa's, he was the back end of that. I actually met Marie Thompson through Michael, which I had a tremendous relationship. May her soul rest in peace. She was a very good lady to me and to a lot of people. And, you know, she was unbelievable. And she actually even had my daughter, when she got out of college, got her a job. And she worked with her, and she worked with Michael in the office, in Michael's other office. Raquel, very close. She worked with him with all his credit and all that stuff. So it's been a long time that Michael's been doing that. So he waited for the right situation so he can get back into that. He always did that anyway. He was just a back end guy, you know what I mean?
Lee, that's Richie telling me that I'm old. I get it. I've been around a long time.
No, I'm not saying you're old. You're about my age. I'm old. I'm not saying you're old. I'm just saying that it's been a long time.
You turn around and all of a sudden, like, hey, yes, I've been doing this for 15 years, 20 years, practicing law for 40 years. My God, how did that happen?
Yeah.
It's just, it didn't happen. And I still enjoy it. I still like being a lawyer. I enjoy pushing paper from one side of my desk to the other. You know, I enjoy the writing aspect of it. I enjoy solving problems. And this is just an extension of problem solving that doesn't necessarily require me going to court.
Right.
So it's right in my wheelhouse. I like to do it. I like to help people. And I like to see results. I don't like to just drag things out. I like to see deals closed, people being successful, mortgages being issued, houses being purchased, new cars being driven. That's what I like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Question. So growing up, I was always told, and you said something earlier that kind of answers my question, which was how much credit you carry versus how much you're actually using. But credit cards were always a dirty word. Credit card was a dirty word, dirty thing, dirty, bad. Don't get, the more credit cards you have, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. But I noticed in my early 20s, if I had, one time I had to get Central Air put into the house. So I got an interest-free credit card. I put the whole system on it and I paid it off like a loan in the 18 months that I had on the credit card. I did it with the fence on the property. I did it with the stonework. I did everything that I did in the house. I would always get a new interest-free credit card. And as long as I had the money to spend, I would say, okay, now we won't touch that money. I'll make payments towards this credit card until it's gone. And I'd usually pay it off 3 or 4 months early. And I noticed my credit went from like 720 to like 860, 870 during that whole process. So to me, it's okay to get multiple credit cards as long as you're knocking things out.
Other than that, if you don't have multiple credit cards, your credit will be poor.
Yeah,
as simple as that. You won't have a new car or revolving credit line because they denied you because you didn't have credit. Okay. I don't look at the number of cards because people that are starting out can get a $400, $300, $500 credit card. That's good. That's fine because they might wind up with a lot more credit cards than you have when you have, a $5,000 credit line, but their overall credit versus available credit versus their debt, that's the key. If
Right.
you have $15,000 worth of available credit in 10 different credit cards, $1,500 a credit card, that's a decent number. And as long as you manage the debt, how much you're paying, and you keep it down to a certain, depending on the person, what the percentage is, you'll have really good credit. You'll have really good credit. And you have to pay, you just have to pay on time. It's the accumulation. If you have 15,000 of available credit and 13,000 of debt, you've maxed out all the cards, you will have lousy credit. You can still have halfway decent credit if you're paying all the minimums, but those minimums are killing you.
Yeah.
They're 29, 30%. So that's the game. You need to really, that's just the credit card aspect.
Yeah.
There are types of loans, revolving loans that can help your credit. Right now, there's a thing that's going around on YouTube, which is horrible, where people are voluntarily putting on their credit report their utility bills, their phone bills. I pay that every month, so might as well go on my credit so it shows that I'm paying stuff on time. That's just a horror show. That's just giving people more information of how to, it's giving the people that are data brokers more information about you. Doesn't really help you hardly at all on your credit score. So the fact that you're going to pay your rent every month is irrelevant. Okay.
Right.
It's one of those things you got to stay away. Those are all the types of things that we go through of what you can do. And there are certain types of loans that actually help. They're called credit repair loans, which are very peculiar and a different way. And certain people who have a certain level of income can take advantage of that to get a bigger bang for their buck in a quick manner. There's a lot there. And it's not, like I said, not just sending dispute letters and this has to be registered and this has to go here and that has to go there. That's all a big smoke and mirrors show for people that really don't know what they're doing and really can't address the underlying issues, because it's going to happen very quickly. If I review your credit report, I'm going to have a plan. If you can't carry through with that plan, that's on you. It doesn't matter how many letters I send out, how many disputes I make, how many dead or closed credit cards, I remove from your thing. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you to really manage your money.
Yeah. When I was in refinance, though, about something earlier that you said, I did notice a lot of younger people would come our way. They'd have like great credit scores, but even though they had great credit scores, they only had one credit card on their credit report and like a school loan. And we had to deny them. But these kids walk around with 750, 800s. Yeah.
I mean, you just need to, but again, they don't understand having another credit card. They just think it's as an obligation. It's not an obligation. It's one of the tools in your bag.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, you're talking about the veterans. I mean, what does he want to go to battle with? Does he want to go to battle with a sledgehammer or an AK-47?
Right.
The tool is what makes it, right?
Yeah.
The soldier's the same. The person's the same. It's how he has and what he's using it for.
Mm. So I know you're going to be launching a website fairly soon for Gemini Credit Services. But for right now, for the audience's sake, how would people go ahead and find you?
They can go to delisa.law, which is my legal website. I think that's the easiest way, and they can get a hold of me through there.
Okay.
Delisa.law.
Awesome. And
I heard he's launching a pretty good website. I heard it looks really, really good. He shared it with me, and it looks really, really nice, the website. I mean, great artwork, great content. It's going to be a really nice thing that he's launching, and I'm so glad, because for the last 15 years, he's been the back end, and of that. I never wanted to get involved, but being in that back end, Marie Thompson had a good team, and he learned this whole thing from the perspective of a credit repair company, and then he merged it with the perspective of the law, because Marie, that's why she really worked with him, because she wanted to make sure, she was a very upfront person. She wanted to make sure that the law was right. So now you got him set up in these two worlds, right? That's really, really interesting. I'm really impressed with what he's shown me in the last few months, and really, really some good stuff that he came up with. It's amazing,
Awesome.
He is a very creative guy.
Yeah, I've heard he's a pretty creative guy.
Yeah, very creative.
So, what'd you say?
I love wearing a tie.
Yeah, I highly doubt
I don't
it.
think so. He's only wearing a tie when he's got a closing, or he's got to go on a podcast. If you see him, he never wears a tie. Or what he's wearing now, it's like I haven't seen him like that in a very long time.
Well, I've seen him plenty of times on his way to court, dressed up and ready.
Right, that's what he wears it for court.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Richie, how are things going with Ignite Your Might?
I think it's pretty good. I share with you the analytics there. I think we got 20 books sold. It went live 10 days ago. I lost my passport and I lost all my ID because, that's me. So they took the book off for like 48 hours, right? Until the publishing company did something and they verified everything. I had to send my trademark and everything. And then they accepted it only temporary for the next 3 weeks. So I was talking to Michael to get this passport expedited because you got to verify your identity with the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, and that dashboard I sent, that's the same dashboard that I got to submit all the stuff. And they don't want, I have pictures of my passport, but they want the scanner. You got to, the app scans it. This is Amazon, high tech. So they got all these scanners. So, I lost everything and,
Yeah, everyone's getting tight with the identity now. I took my daughter to the library on I don't know when. It was in the last 5 days, and I had my library card, which was valid, and I just asked if we could update her card because she was 1 when she took the photo, and now she's 5.5 years old. She'll be 6 in a month, and they said we need your driver's license. And I said, but this is my library card that I just used 2 days ago. It's the same card. It's valid. And they said, no, we need your identity at the library.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all about these barcodes today,
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about. Without that, you don't have anything. I got the citizenship in my pocket because I'm getting the new passport.
Right.
And they doesn't have a barcode.
Yeah.
And everything's about the barcode, And I have to go to Washington for the final thing. And I had to go there Friday. And I told them I would go there Tuesday. I said, well, we need all your information, your passport, driver's license, if you have one. And I sent them an email that I have this thing. I just showed Michael, and that doesn't work. And everything's barcode now. Everything's going to have a barcode.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's terrible.
Michael, one more question for you before we wrap up here today. What is the thought process? And maybe there is none. Maybe it's just it is what it is. But when people do go to try to obtain a credit card and a loan and all of that, why do they chip away at your credit score just because you're inquiring about something?
There's a belief in the algorithm that's built into the algorithm that people that are searching around for credit are in bad financial health in one way, and they are looking to see how they can get some easy money, some quick money, that there might be a deficiency with them. Wow. So especially if you reply to more than one place, 2 or 3 places,
right,
then that's a negative mark. They say you're too you're too anxious to get money. You're not
Right.
doing the long-term thing. I believe that's what it is. I've looked into that. That's a good question.
Yeah.
And
It's like,
that seems to be what it is. Just because why should an inquiry into your financial well-being be a negative mark? But it's not a long-term mark. It's a short-term. So they try and capture the fact of if you're desperate for money and applying to a bunch of different places, they're going to slow you down by dropping your credit, get yourself back on track, and that'll go up within a couple of months. It'll go back, it'll go back up.
Yeah.
So it's like a permanent thing. It's that kind of thing of people that are a little too desperate to grab some opportunity, to grab some money that they need. That's why, as I stated earlier, the idea is to have the availability of a good credit score so that if you do need, as you said, to put a fence or a roof or an AC, you have the ability to do that and there's no negative implications to it. You just, if you need another card or whatever, you just open it up and away you go.
Wow. All right. Well, that is Gemini Credit Services coming down the pike. There'll be a website launching soon. For right now, if you want to find Michael, it's delisa.law, and you can hit him up there. Richie, got anything else going on, or are we a wrap here?
No, I got nothing else going on other than the rent.
Other than the rent, yeah.
And payroll. That's all. That's what I got going on. That's it.
All right. Well, Michael, thank you very much for being on the show. It was a pleasure having you.
See you soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.